Very good.
Yeah, no, I
Probably know more about you than we ever wanted to know. And now Secretary Lynn and the Secretary's report.
First, I'd just like to say, sitting with and getting to know the club presidents is a privilege and one of the highlights of being the club secretary. It has been an honor to serve with both past President Matt Long and now President Greg Long. And I can assure you that someone else will be up here for Henry. Greg, it has been a real pleasure and just want to congratulate you on a very, very successful year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Matt Martin has a traveling microphone, and we'll start with President-elect Tom Limbaugh.
I am here with my wife, Lisa, and we're here to work with her on program and my two grandsons, Jack White and Judy White.
And then we'll go to Brian Boger. We get to see faces of the names we just met.
So as mentioned, I have my family here with me. I have my mother, Nancy Bogner, Stan, see you. My wife, Amy, my daughter, Bailey, my son, Gary.
My daughter Kelly is extremely happy to be here today. We have no water from the outbreak.
We're at Yoder.
I have my father and also president of Wayne Insurance Group, Tim Stupas here.
And just finishing off some of the awards we did last week, a couple that are here today. Brian Boyer has earned his tenure pin. Becky Foster is receiving her first Paul Harris Fellow, as well as Katie Coleman. So if you could come forward and receive those from President. Congratulations.
Oh. Oh, that's, the one has a surprise for it. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, where's yours? Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
I'm losing mine. I know.
Thank you.
All right, well, we got a lot of guests today, and we really appreciate y'all being here. And I guess we're down to, I get 2 minutes to give you my final thoughts before I leave. First of all, I'm very happy with Henry being the perfect gentleman today. Of course, he's playing games beside him. And I do want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to be president. It's quite an honor of this club. And it's one that my year goes fast, but I do appreciate the chance to do it. I feel good about the year. The wheels didn't fall off and the boat didn't sink. So, you know, that's how you gauge a good year. I think one of the highlights for me were, and I've mentioned it many times, were the two exchange students, Azumi and Suji. They were just fantastic. Not that all of them haven't been, but these two were really exceptional. They're really exceptional. And I do appreciate Brett and Kathy overseeing them. And that's no easy job. I think running the flags is tough, but I think finding exchange students, host families and everything is probably as hard as anything that we do. And to the whole Grove committee, I think we've got a christening coming up, where we're going to have a meeting there with the club, but that Grove is really something, and that whole committee deserves a lot of recognition for doing it, because they really did a nice job. And then to Ken Schaefer for establishing the environmental committee. And that's something that got us on a bench for the Grove, which is really cool. We did increase membership by 7 members, and according to our district governor, we were the only club in the whole district that went up in membership. The rest went down or stayed the same. And a number of the smaller ones, and we do have a lot of 5 and 10 member clubs, went away, unfortunately. And that's just not Rotary, that's every social or fraternal organization. We have worked hard, and now Kourtney's going to talk a little more about that, to engage the new Rotarians, to get them to do, to get them onto the flags or something, so that they feel like they're wanted and needed, and we just don't let them float around out there with no purpose. So that'll be something she's going to be working at. You know, I think we worked hard this year to make the Wooster Rotary Club visible in the community, and I think it has. I think every project that we do, you know, and working with the city has been fantastic. Thanks to Joel and Tim, we do appreciate it. And Kourtney's going to talk about our next new project, but getting the flag up last year, which was Justin's thing, is really about as visible as anything we've ever done. And we've got the Grove coming up, which is great, and then the block. But I think we've done that. I think that probably one of the MVPs for me this year has been Cheryl Boyer. Without her, I don't know what we would have done. I mean, people could have filled in, but keeping this stuff running is no easy task. And Terry set it up good last year, and we got new equipment, and it's worked pretty well. And it's had the normal issues that 8 screens will give you, but it's worked. And so I think that's no simple accomplishment, and I do appreciate that. And I appreciate all the chairs of the committees. Probably the hardest, other than exchange students, is the flags. I mean, it has challenges on a daily basis, and weather doesn't cooperate. Vandals don't help us any. So them guys, you know, those guys really did a marvelous job, and they had to work around moving stuff, but all that's because the city's been good to us and let us in out there. So all in all, I'd say the flag committee has as many Rotarian hours as any committee we have. And, you know, going over the $1 million mark last week with the Rotary International Foundation, that happens once in 100 years. I mean, I hate to say it, I got the benefit of be standing up here, but it took 101 other presidents before me. And I asked her, you know, how are the other clubs? And she said, there's nobody even close in the district. And Canton and North Canton have been big for a long time. And I asked her why we got there. And she said, because you place an emphasis on it. And you make it a priority, and you've done that for 101, 102 years. So, you know, that's the difference between raising $100 a person and raising $20 a person, a member. So I found that to be an interesting reason why. And of course, last but surely not least, the cooks are very, very sacred to me. They're honorary Rotarians. They make food that is absolutely phenomenal. If you've ever went anywhere and you've eaten box lunches, I don't think that's in our league. So I just want you to know how valuable I think the cooks are, and I work very hard to take good care of them. So that's my whole comments. At this time, would Bob Gorman please come up to handle the transition?
Thank you, President Craig. A job well done. It was an outstanding year, and you really, your leadership really made a difference. Congratulations. Well, it is that time of year. Like a well-oiled machine, the years of leadership in Rotary turn at the end of June for 35,000 clubs worldwide, and we're one of them. So, Kourtney Yoder, please stand. Kourtney, it is my honor to inaugurate you as president of the Rotary Club of Wooster for the 2023-24 year. You've been selected by members of this Rotary Club to carry the mantle of leadership through the coming year. As the many of us who have served in this role can attest, this will be one of the civic privileges of your lifetime. And you have the full support of every Wooster Rotarian. You've been entrusted with an important local and global responsibility, and you're now asked to do your part in shaping Rotary's future. Your selection is an expression of the club members' confidence that you'll do just that. If you're prepared to meet the task and the obligations ahead of you, please repeat after me, as I administer the oath of president. I, Kourtney Yoder, do solemnly swear
I, Kourtney Yoder, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office
that I will faithfully execute the office
of president of the Rotary Club of Worcester,
of president of Rotary Club of Worcester.
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
I will, to the best of my ability,
give support and assistance to our club,
to give support and assistance to our club,
our district,
our district,
and to Rotary International,
to Rotary International,
and that I will uphold
and that I will uphold
the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
the Constitution and the bylaws of this club.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Past President Greg, before we call you past president. Please present President Kourtney with the club president's pen.
We've reversed this. There's only one way.
President Kourtney, you have the best wishes of the membership of Wooster Rotary and our promise to help you have a successful year.
I appreciate it.
All right, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Worcester and its members, I'm pleased to present past President Greg, a well-deserved struggle today, of his leadership and his achievements during his term as president. So I have a president's pin.
Should have rehearsed it.
Yeah, I should have.
This might be a malfunction.
And then a gavel. And now your new badge. Oh, you got a fancy one.
First, still puts magnets.
Oh, yeah. All right, there we go. So thank you. We really appreciate it. All right. So with that, I mean, again, thank you, Greg, for your this last year. I really appreciate working with him. And honestly, just the years that Greg has put into this club as secretary, and I'm honored. Treasurer, I said that, I already said that once, as our treasurer, and I'm honored that he's willing to continue that for this year with me. So let's give Greg another round of applause. All right, everyone said this is gonna be the most struggle meeting, so I'm there, I'm feeling it. So give me a moment, I promise it'll get better this year. But honestly, I am so honored to be your president for 2023, 2024. We've had a lot of amazing presidents go through this club, so I have some tough shoes to fill, but I honestly really appreciate it. And I do have some goals, and I'd like to share those goals with you. My first goal is one kind of Greg was already talked about a little bit, but one that I kind of probably most passionate about, and that's getting to know and getting to help grow our newish members, ones that have been around for a little bit and maybe haven't found their path in Rotary, because that was me. And so I always kind of struggled, didn't know who to exactly talk to, what committee I wanted to join, how to join. And so that's one thing I really want to truly focus on this year. So building relationships is something I do in my job today, and I want to do that here in Rotary. So that's my first goal. And this next goal is probably going to be one that will hopefully help new members, is knowing our committees and getting to know them better. So throughout the year, I'm hoping that the committee chairs will be able to come up, share a little bit more throughout our presentations of what we have to offer here in Rotary. Next is social media. I'm in marketing in my job. Not that I really know a whole lot about social media, but I do appreciate it and what it has to offer. And we already have Natalie and Katie doing it, and they're doing a fantastic job. So continuing to grow those platforms. And maybe someday you'll see us on YouTube. I don't know. I mean, I know, right? Natalie, we can do YouTube. Okay. Oh, we are on YouTube. Oh, well, we're going to continue growing that platform. How's that? There we go. Okay. The next one is Club Runner. I know all of us are scared of Club Runner, aka myself. But if you don't know, and I'm going to make you aware, you can actually download an app. So if you like apps and have a smartphone, the Club Runner app is actually phenomenal. But I would like to get to everybody updated on what clubs or committees you're on, committee chairs in there. I gotta figure that out first, but that's what I'm gonna do, is get everybody into Club Runner. And then obviously we want to continue to grow our membership, not just by, numbers, but by quality too. Greg had a successful year of growing 7 new members, and a club our size is honestly, that's amazing, because when I was at Pets, Rotary International, all the other clubs, they struggled big time to grow. So having 7 new members, I mean, that's truly fantastic. So I want to continue that. My next goal, and this one I'm really excited about, Greg and I, when we went to Houston, if you all remember our conversation with Houston, the one good big takeaway we took away from that convention was we found this company that actually does clocks. And so we are going to be, with some of the funds from Greg and my year, we're able to actually purchase this post clock. It's a 4-sided, will light up. And I thought it'd be the icing to the cake to our Oak Hill Park, which we should actually just call Rotary Oak Hill Park. That we have the pavilion now, the Founders Grove. And this is actually going to go outside, they're going to be the city of Worcester is putting a roundabout kind of right outside of Oak Hill Park. And so this is going to go in the center of the roundabout. So thanks to the city of Worcester, with their cooperation and their help with this is going to be a great place to put that. So I'm very excited. So I call this the Greg and I project. It's not just my project. It's Greg and I both we're passionate about this and wanted to get this done. So again, to the city of Joel and to the city of Worcester, we really appreciate it as well. And then really kind of my last remarks here is, hold on. Okay, there we go. Is getting you, announcing now some of our events that we have coming up. So August 7th is going to be the Meals with a Mission. August 14th, we are going to do a picnic at the Rotary Pavilion at Oak Hill Park. And this is in celebration of the Founders Grove. So when you come to that, we want to be able to sit out there and get a picture of the whole club. So mark your calendars for that. November 13th is going to be our Veterans Celebration. November 17th and 18th is our Alvin V tournament. And then March 7th is going to be our wine and bourbon tasting. That went so well last year, so I'm excited to continue that. We actually put some money into my budget this year specifically for this event. So I'm excited to continue that. So with that, that's really kind of all my remarks. I am one that you do have any comments or would like to see something different, I would love to talk to you more about it. Like I said, building relationships is something I'm very passionate about, so I can't wait to continue to grow. All right, Tom, we're ready to hear about your Australia trip. Will you please come up?
Thank you, Kourtney. Okay, this is my wife, Lisa, and in case you hadn't heard that earlier, she also went to Melbourne, Australia with me to the convention. And I don't know if you noticed, but Kourtney got to go to Houston. We got to go to Melbourne, so yay. Yay for timing.
All right, Tom, I'll remember that.
Yeah. But then I had to remind her that poor Terry Snoddy, for his convention was in Hawaii, but it got canceled for COVID, so he had to Zoom his convention, so.
We had a wonderful trip. Sorry, I didn't mean to rub salt in the wound, but it was a wonderful opportunity for both of us to travel together, to see the world. And we're forever grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, and first and foremost, thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead the Wooster Rotary Club for the 2024-25 year and to be president-elect this year. Consider it an honor, and I'm looking forward to assisting President Kourtney wherever I can this year as president-elect. Lisa and I want to thank the club for the opportunity to represent you at the International Rotary Convention in Melbourne. The convention was awesome. Highly recommend it to any Rotarian that has a chance to go to one of the international conventions to do so. I know I have a new appreciation for what it means to be a Rotarian and a better knowledge and pride for the global precedence and leadership that Rotary provides to make our world a better place.
And I'm going to add my 2 cents worth that I didn't have any idea what Rotary did, and I apologize for not being more educated about it. But I was in amazement. It was an awesome. It's an awesome organization. The worldwide outreach and the 26 action groups. It was amazing. So.
Okay, so
Bear with us.
if you're a public speaker, you know it's all about the technology and whether it works or not. So hopefully it will work. Here we go. Okay, things we've learned in Australia. Australians all drive on the wrong side of the road. And thank God I didn't rent a car and try to do that myself. They love roundabouts like we appear to be doing also. So imagine going up the wrong side of the road and going the opposite way on the roundabout. So Australians feel the need to have lamb with every meal for some reason, and baked beans with their scrambled eggs, which was a head scratcher. You have to order a long black coffee to get anything even close to what Americans drink over here. Australians, they always talk about swirling the opposite way. Well, with the new efficiency toilets, they all flush downward just like they do in the US.
We had family members who said you have to watch the water go down the toilet.
Anyway, and apparently people from the Midwest USA do have an accent, according to everybody over there.
You're from the US, right? Why do you, we sounded weird, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, we started off our trip in Auckland. You don't fly all the way over there. For the first leg of that trip was a 15-hour plane ride. So obviously we didn't want to go over there and just see Melbourne, Australia. So the first connection was in Auckland, New Zealand. So we flew over there, and the connecting flight, we decided to spend a few days in Auckland. Auckland was amazing. As you can see, it's a beautiful city. The cows in Auckland are very passionate about climate change. So there was a few protesting in a park that went in over there, which I thought was kind of funny. And their eating establishments over there are awesome.
We never went to McDonald's,
No.
to clarify, just to clarify.
Yeah, I should have went to see if we had lamb burgers or not. Okay, and then we made it to Melbourne. There we are at I think that was the opening ceremony.
No, that was the day before for the
Oh,
people who'd
right.
never been there before. So.
Right.
So yes, we just gotten off a plane and
but everything was the graphics. I'm always amazed by the advertising and the marketing. And it was just gorgeous. I mean, they just top notch.
Their branding was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, we saw the different groups from all over the world. This particular group was from Japan. But yeah, I think during the parade of flag ceremony, there was, I think represents
Over 100 countries.
Yeah. And this this was the open part of the opening ceremonies. To give you an idea, the conference was in the Rod Laver Arena. And if you are a tennis buff, you probably have heard of that particular arena. It's a famous arena that
The Australian Open is held
Australian
every year.
Open
Yeah, they had the
is held
Olympics.
there. Yeah, huge arena, and we filled the place. 14,000 Rotarians there, I think. So.
Another example, again, you could tell I was amazed by the branding. But this is the flags. In the center of this picture is Jennifer Jones, the president that for the past year, and that's the flags from her Rotary Club. So if anybody has aspirations to be an international president, Wooster Rotary could be represented on an international stage. So go for it.
Yep.
We were entertained by some really great groups. These are the tenors, the 4 tenors, if you've ever heard them, but they were amazing.
They're a Canadian group. I believe Jennifer Jones was Canadian also. So I think that's how they ended up there.
Right. And this is, they counted the number of registrants to the convention, and the United States won. We had the most. We were represented the most at the conference, followed by Australia, Japan, Philippines, and Taiwan.
This is the Melbourne Convention Center. They had a huge convention center there for all the breakout sessions, and then the Rod Laver Arena was for the general sessions.
It was probably a 25-minute walk from this convention center to Rod Laver along the Yarra River. So we did that every day. One day, we walked 11 miles, not just for Rotary, but
Right.
thank goodness.
Yeah, and the bus drive, it was crazy. It took longer to ride a bus there than it was to just walk.
Right. And there's the Rod Laver Arena.
Again, this is Jennifer Jones. I didn't know this before, but she is the first woman international president in the 115-year anniversary of Rotary, which at first I thought was kind of cool, but then I thought that's kind of embarrassing that it took 115 years to get a woman president there. I believe Peggy Schmitzer was Wooster Rotary's first president, and that happened, what, 25, 30 years ago. So yeah, that's how far ahead the Wooster Rotary Club is of the international club. So
Next year's president, we'll introduce him in a minute, but he's from Scotland. And then the next president is from the US, and she is from Pennsylvania. She's from a Rotary Club in Pennsylvania. So this is an example of, this was open, no, this wasn't opening ceremonies, but again, you get the idea of how many people were there.
yeah, how big the arena was, how many people were actually there. And this was every morning.
Every morning, right?
This crowd, yeah.
I was really impressed. The speakers every day, this lady, her name is Lima Bowie, and she is from Liberia, but she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 at the age of 39. She's was involved living in the middle of a civil war in Liberia, and she works for she's working for nonviolent peace efforts and also for freeing women in that country. So she was an amazing role model, an amazing speaker. This is a 10-year-old poet. She is 10 years old, and she is from Ghana, and she speaks to us about taking care of our earth. And she is writing a book. She's on the international travel circuit to tell about her passion for environmental change. Her name is Makit I practiced this, so I have to do it. Nakit Dramani Song. She's just the sweetest, very intelligent young lady.
Okay, this is again, an illustration of the walk back and forth to Rod Laver Arena, where we stayed and where the convention center was.
You see
And-
the, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see the colored leaves, it is fall there. So the temperatures were 50s and 60s. They were bundled in winter coats and parkas, and the little ones had hats and gloves. And I thought, you guys, it's like 55 at the coldest. You have no idea what winter is. Come to the Cleveland area. So we had one day of rain, but other than that, it was just chilly and cloudy and
Yeah, it's kind of, the leaves were swirling around. It's kind of weird. to
but the
be-
flowers were blooming, pansies were out.
Yeah.
It never gets cold. It never gets to freezing there. So they have flowers all year long. Gabby Marino from Guatemala was another entertainer for us. And she's also appearing soon at EJ Thomas Hall in Akron. So she is out now working out of LA, but she is a talented artist. Just another example, right, Tom, of the, just,
Yeah, and another thing to point out, the conventions were not all about, international and issues and things like that. The breakout sessions at the convention center were really the main focus of the convention to help the local clubs. Some of the breakout sessions were intersection of family, career, and Rotary, leading diverse teams, pivoting the pandemic, connecting digitally. Why can't we be friends? New generation Rotarians and how to service them. Peace building, protecting the environment through Rotary. Measuring impact, a workshop on project evaluation. The future is now, growing youth voices. Build peace, lead peace, rebuilding local communities. Driving membership growth and with evidence. Building local peace, positive peace for clubs. Delivering on the promise of a polio-free world, which I guess is kind of international. But anyway, there was a lot of good information for the local clubs as well.
and we could pick which ones we went to. So we learned a lot about building clubs, keeping members. We went to something about e-clubs. So there's new Rotary clubs being formed where people are meeting online, but they're meeting internationally online. So they're finding a time to meet and solve problems or pick a project. So there's some pros and cons to that kind of model, but that is something that Rotary is looking at, accepting people that want to be in those types of clubs. So this is Gordon McAnally, who is the next International Rotary President, and his slogan is to create hope in the world. And the quote that you see listed here by Nelson Mandela is one that he is kind of building his year of experience on.
Also found out that the plugs didn't work, that work here, don't work over there.
We had adapters. They didn't work on the plane.
No.
This is the House of Friendship, which is at each international convention. This one, there are fellowship groups, and you can see that says whiskey.
Whiskey Fellowship,
Oh, there was a gin fellowship, a
Gin.
wine tasting fellowship. So, those I said to someone, well, what's the difference between action groups and fellowship groups? So I found out that those are social groups and the action groups are the ones that do the project. So
anyway, they seemed to have a good time.
they always had a crowd around those.
Yeah. The other one that didn't have a crowd around it was the Russian contingency, which I thought was kind of interesting.
There was a pollinator one. So we care for bees. So there were dancing bees and singing bees and.
Yeah.
And in this House of Friendship, there was entertainment round the clock. I mean, you could sit and be entertained and eat and so forth. So
Right.
another
Okay,
shot of Yarra
yeah.
River. Right?
Another shot of another one. Yep.
the Peace Garden.
Peace Garden. 4 steps towards peace.
The Rotary there in Melbourne created in their garden a series of peace bells, and I was really intrigued by this. But the 4 steps toward peace are: first, you seek peace within, then you make peace at home, you create peace in your community, and you foster peace between peoples and lands. And I just thought that really represented Rotary and Worcester very well.
Okay, next, after the Melbourne conference, we decided to fly up to Sydney for a few days. So this, of course, is the Opera House. Here we are at the Opera House. I thought it's kind of interesting. I never knew what the outside of the shells of that Opera House is. It's actually tile, kind of a ceramic type tile. Me being a banking geek, I had to take a picture of the Bank of China. And they actually have kangaroo jerky on sale there. And no, I didn't try it. And one day we ordered a bowl of chips, and this is what we got. So again, bottom line, thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to leading it, leading the club, following Kourtney's, I'm sure, successful year. And yeah, again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for rubbing in that great trip you had. If you want to remind me of it, I can remind you of Houston any day you want. So anyways, no, we thank you guys for being here with us today, and all of our guests. We hope you guys come back to join us. Just remember, we will not be having a meeting next week in observance of July 4th, or Independence Day. So our next meeting will be July 10th. So with that, we hope you have a great week, and we stand adjourned.